This is the Leica ASP300 tissue processor. It's in the process of being refurbished right now. However, I'm going to show you how to convert a 220 to 240 volt system to a 115 volt system, or vice versa. Remove the rear panel to expose the components we will be working with. Next, remove the right side panel by removing the two screws at the bottom left and right of the panel. Swing the bottom of the panel out, and the panel should slide down from the top. Here, we are looking at the 115 volt and 220 volt Molex plugs that will need to be removed and installed. The plug with the black wires is the plug to be used within the US at 115 volt 60 Hz input. The plug with the white wires is the plug to be used in the UK at 220 volts 50 Hz input. We always recommend purchasing any replacement parts directly from the manufacturer. Since the lab that will be using this processor is in the US, let's replace the 220 volt Molex plug with a 115 volt plug. First, unplug the machine, then remove the power supply. There will be two Phillips head screws that will need to be removed at the bottom of the supply. Pull the power supply out and gently let it hang. Next, remove the power input module. To do this, remove the two screws on the right side panel of the processor. The module can then be exposed enough to be able to change out the plug. You can reach into the right side of the machine and create some slack with the two orange wire harnesses if needed. Here's the location of the Molex plug. We have already replaced the 220 volt plug with a 115 volt plug. Now we must install the correct fuse for the input voltage. The correct fuse specs are printed on the printed circuit board under the fuse holder. For the 115 volt system, we will need a 10 amp fuse. The actual input voltage can be between 90 and 125 volts AC. For the 220 volt system, we will need a 5 amp fuse. The actual input voltage can be between 180 and 250 volts AC. The third change we will make will be on the power input module as well. There's a switch on the right side of the module behind the power supply that has two settings. Adjust the switch to the appropriate voltage setting. The fuse in the fuse holder above the switch does not need to be changed. The fourth and final change we will make is the replacement of the two fuses in the power input module above the power switch. You will need a small screwdriver to pop the holder out. Replace these fuses with the appropriately rated fuses. For the 115 volt system, we will need two 10 amp fuses. For the 220 volt system, we will need two 5 amp fuses. After this is complete, reinstall the power supply, right side panel, and back panel, and the project is complete.